So thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ron Mahalik, and this is my colleague Angela Horn. And we're here on behalf of Forte. According to this slide, we're the leader in data-driven estate solutions. Oh, before I forget, Trace Scoglin is also here with us, and the three of us will be at our booth, which we certainly would like for you to come by and visit a little bit later. So we're here with Forte, the leader in data-driven estate solutions. And we want to talk to you for a few minutes this morning or this afternoon about something that makes all of us at least a little bit uncomfortable, aside from public speaking, and that is death. Death is not something that people in most organizations spend a lot of time thinking about. And as healthcare providers, I'm pretty sure that there's even less of an incentive in your organizations to talk about death, since you probably spend most of your time, or your organization does, trying to preserve life. So we understand that death may be one of the last things you want to talk about. But over the next several minutes, what Angela and I will try to do is to change your perception a bit about death. Especially as it relates to the death of a patient in your organization. I'm going to start on the next slide by sharing some interesting facts about the aging of the U.S. population, the spiraling costs of caring for the elderly, and the impact of these changes on the healthcare industry and on your deceased patient receivables. Then I'll turn things over to Angela, who will speak to you about probate and about how probate can be an effective solution to this rather difficult situation. Angela will then share with you a few case studies of some healthcare organizations that have actually used probate to create an entirely new revenue stream within their organizations. Ultimately, this afternoon, we'd like for you to leave here with an understanding of three things. First of all, there's some demographic changes happening in the United States right now that will have an impact on your organization and certainly on the healthcare industry overall. And two, there's a way to manage deceased patient receivables in a way that not only helps you to create a new revenue stream, but can also be done in a very survivor-sensitive way. And thirdly, that Forte is the probate expert. For the past 12 years, Forte has been providing education to a range of industries, to financial managers in a range of industries. And we're certainly more than happy to bring those educational services to help you in building out your curriculum. So when you and your membership are ready to have a conversation about death and about deceased patient receivables, know that Forte is there to help you get that conversation started. So here's the situation. America is getting older. And as we get older, more of us are going to die. And as we get closer to death, it's going to become a lot more expensive to take care of us. As you can see in this chart, between 2010 and 2050, we're going to see about a 150% increase in the number of deaths of people over the age of 65, from about 2 million this year to about 3.5 million by 2050. On the cost side, a recent estimate of total lifetime healthcare costs shows that half of all expenditures occur after the age of 65. So what's the impact on your receivables? Well, it's pretty significant. With each passing year, more people are dying, having recently incurred the largest portion of their healthcare, of their lifetime healthcare costs, with more personal responsibility to shoulder that burden. Thus, because your deceased accounts receivable will only continue to expand as each year passes, having a strategy in place to deal with these receivables is becoming increasingly important. Yet in some interviews we conducted last year in Seattle at the ANI conference, we learned that few healthcare organizations actually have a strategy in place to deal with this asset. Reasons why included having little to no experience with deceased patient receivables, to concerns about your community's perception about trying to collect on this stuff, to a limited understanding of the probate process. So what's a financial manager to do? With that, I'd like to introduce Angela Horn, a vice president with our organization, and our assistant general counsel. Angela is one of the nation's leading experts in probate law and creditors' rights, with more than a decade of experience in probate. She's a member of the American Bar Association's Estates and Trust Division, as well as the Consumer Financial Services Division. With that, I'd like to turn things over to Angela.
Thanks, Ron. This is a difficult topic. You've done a great job introducing it to a group of people who probably didn't expect to hear this. As an attorney, my tendency is to make things more complicated, not less. But for the last 12 years, Forte has been focused on making a very complicated process, probate, much easier. During this time, we've worked with 80% of the largest credit card issuers in the US. We've managed billions of dollars in deceased placements. We've collected data from every one of the nation's 3,450 probate courts and have dealt with tens of thousands of estate attorneys and personal representatives. The unmatched knowledge base that we've assembled over this time has enabled us to take a complex issue like probate and make it remarkably easy to navigate. Here's how probate can help. Probate is a process that's been around for hundreds of years, and it was designed specifically to help distribute the remaining assets of an estate to the rightful creditors and heirs. Notice that I said creditors and heirs, in that order. By law, an estate needs to relieve its debt obligations to the rightful creditors of an estate before it can pay anything to the heirs. Thus, by finding a probated estate and filing a claim, the provider preserves its right to payment. Now, this is a rather simple explanation, but with the help of the unique probate database that we have and automated claim filing technologies, many of the world's largest organizations in credit cards, auto financing, telecommunications, and healthcare are using probate to recover millions of dollars in deceased debt. But for healthcare organizations, perhaps the best part about using probate to recover deceased debt is the less tangible yet critical benefits that it